You went to bed feeling fine. So why did you wake up with a sore shoulder, an aching hip, or a neck that won't quite turn all the way? Maybe you sat on the edge of the bed for a moment, just waiting for your body to catch up with the rest of you. Maybe you've started doing that little shuffle to the bathroom because nothing wants to bend the way it used to. Not right away, anyway. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you've probably thought, this is just what happens after 50. Most women quietly accept that explanation and move on with their day. They assume their body is simply aging, one stiff morning at a time. But the surprising part is this. Your body may be reacting to something far more specific than aging itself. It may be reacting to your sleeping position, night after night, in ways you've never had a reason to think about. So let's actually look at what happens to your body during those 7 or 8 hours you spend lying in one position. Once you see the pattern, you'll probably start noticing it tonight, maybe even tomorrow morning. Let's start with the stiffness, because almost every woman over 50 knows this one personally. You wake up, you go to sit up, and for a few seconds your body feels decades older than it did the night before. Here's why that happens. When you stay on your side without shifting much, your joints sit in one position for hours at a time. Less movement means less of the natural fluid that keeps those joints lubricated. So that fluid slows down too, almost like it's been sitting still right along with you. Have you noticed some mornings are worse than others? That's not your imagination. If you happen to sleep especially still one night, maybe after a long day, that's often the morning you wake up feeling the stiffest. Your body simply had less chance to shift and let that fluid move through the joint. Now here's where it gets more specific, and this is the part a lot of women find oddly validating. Have you noticed it's often the same shoulder, not a random one, the same one more often than not? That's not a coincidence. When you sleep on one side, that shoulder is supporting a good portion of your body weight, all night, every night. Think about the last time you held even a light object out in front of you for a few minutes. Your arm got tired fast. Now imagine that kind of pressure, but for several hours, concentrated on one joint. Sustained pressure like that may irritate the tissues around the shoulder. And that could contribute to the soreness you feel reaching for something on a high shelf or pulling on a jacket. So that achy shoulder you've been blaming on age, it might really just be your favorite side to sleep on, making itself known. That probably explains something you've quietly wondered about for years, maybe without ever saying it out loud. And if you think the shoulder is carrying a lot of pressure, there's a joint lower down that may be working even harder. It might be part of the reason getting out of bed feels harder than it should some mornings. Your hips can bear more weight inside sleeping than in many other positions. That may matter a little more after 50, since bone density can naturally decrease for many women, especially after menopause. And here's something interesting most women don't connect right away. They don't notice the hip pressure while they're sleeping. They notice it in the first 30 seconds after they stand up. That dull ache when you first get on your feet, before you've taken more than a step or two. That's often related to one hip bearing more pressure than the other, night after night, finally making itself felt once you're upright again. If you've ever stood beside your bed for a moment, waiting for your body to loosen up before you can move normally, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. That little pause isn't weakness. It's your hip catching up. So now you might be thinking, the fix here is obvious. Just stop sleeping on your side. But it's actually a little more complicated than that, because side sleeping may be doing something for you that you'd likely notice the moment it was gone. Have you ever woken up gasping slightly? Or had someone mention you snore more when you're on your back? That's not unrelated. Lying flat can allow the tongue and soft tissue around the throat to fall backward a little. And that's part of why breathing interruptions are sometimes more common in that position. Side sleeping tends to keep the airway a bit more open, which may help support steadier oxygen levels overnight. And that can matter, because consistent oxygen through the night is thought to play a role in your energy the next day, your focus, and over time, your overall brain health. So here's the part worth sitting with for a moment. The same position that may be contributing to your shoulder or hip discomfort may also be the one helping you sleep more soundly and breathe more easily, which means the answer was never simply stop sleeping on your side. The real answer is learning how to make your sleeping position work for your body the way it is now, not the way it was at 30, when none of this needed a second thought. And there's one more place this shows up, probably the most familiar feeling of all, the one almost every woman watching this has felt more times than she can count. Does your neck ever feel like it doesn't want to move right in the morning? Like you have to turn your whole upper body just to check over your shoulder? That often comes down to your pillow. If it's too high, too flat, or simply not the right shape for you, your neck may spend the night tilted out of line with your spine. And your spine generally works best in a fairly straight line, ears over shoulders over hips, even while you sleep. When your neck sits even slightly off from that line for hours, the muscles around it may tighten to compensate, much the way your shoulders might tense up during a stressful day. That's the stiffness. That's the ache. That's the tension that sometimes creeps all the way into your upper back by the time you're brushing your teeth. So here's what this actually means for you, practically speaking. A pillow between your knees may ease a noticeable amount of hip pressure for some women. The right pillow height for your neck can make a bigger difference than most people ever expect, sometimes more than any other single change you could make. And switching sides every so often, even just occasionally, gives your more pressured joints a chance to rest. So tonight, when you're lying there, see if you notice it. Which shoulder is touching the mattress? Whether your neck feels level or slightly tilted. Whether that's the side that usually aches by morning. You might be surprised how clear it becomes once you're actually paying attention. Because here's what I really want you to take from this. Taking care of yourself at this stage of life isn't about doing everything perfectly. It isn't about overhauling your routine or buying 5 new pillows tomorrow. It's about understanding your body a little better than you did yesterday, and realizing that an ache doesn't always mean something is wrong with you. Sometimes it simply means your body is asking for a small adjustment. Your body isn't failing you. You're just learning how to listen to it a little more closely. So tell me, which side do you sleep on, and is that the side that bothers you more in the morning? I'd love to hear if this sounds like you.